All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We're tackling something that literally happens to every single one of us every single day. Aging. Now, we don't just grow up. Eventually, we start growing old. But, just because time keeps ticking forward doesn't mean we can't push back a little, right? Today, we are breaking down a complete medical playbook to help you hold back the clock and preserve your youth, your vitality, and your drive. Because as the saying goes, today is the youngest you will ever be. So let's dive right into it. Here's our roadmap for the Explainer today. We're going to cover 5 key areas. First, the visible signs of aging. Second, the incredible power of testosterone. Third, fighting hidden visceral fat. Fourth, supplements and deep sleep. And finally, number 5, a really cool sauna protocol.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the visible signs of aging. Think about it. When you look in the mirror, what are the very first things that make you feel a little self-conscious? Usually it comes down to skin and hair. Now, there's this massive myth out there that men naturally just have this tough, resilient skin. Actually, medically speaking, that is completely false. Men's skin is surprisingly sensitive. Couple that with the fact that guys are usually way less likely to use sunscreen during outdoor stuff, like, say, a round of golf, and you end up with a ton of hidden UV damage. So to fight this, the medical recommendation is to use high-quality, doctor-grade cosmetics. There's a brand called Plus Restore, for example, which you can actually only get in medical institutions, and it's designed specifically to repair the skin's barrier function. Fixing that barrier post-damage is absolutely crucial if you want to stop that visible clock from ticking.
And that brings us to the second visible factor, hair loss. Man, it's an eternal dilemma, isn't it? We all know hair massively affects how old you look. But here's the thing. Traditional AGA, or androgenetic alopecia treatments, they come with a major catch. They work by blocking male hormones to stop the hair from falling out. But what happens when you block those hormones? Well, you often end up killing your libido and completely draining your energy. Basically, you're left having to choose between keeping your hair or keeping your vitality. Not exactly a fun choice.
So the real goal here is finding a better way, and that is exactly where modern treatments like Epiverse come into play. See, unlike standard AGA pills that you literally have to take for the rest of your life and deal with those libido-lowering side effects, Epiverse is a whole different ballgame. It's an advanced treatment focused on gene repair. You just do 6 sessions, and it helps you grow strong, clean hair without messing with your hormones at all. It's a game changer. But I do have to warn you, there is a catch. You've got to act early. If you wait until those hair roots are completely dead, well, even Epiverse won't save them. The takeaway here, don't just sit around worrying about thinning hair. Take action at the very first sign of it.
Moving right along to part 2, the power of testosterone.
Okay, there is a core medical philosophy you absolutely need to understand here. Testosterone supplementation is the ultimate representation of male anti-aging. Let that sink in. When a man's physical energy drops, when his mental sharpness starts to fade, or his sexual function declines, guess what? The root cause is almost always the exact same thing: dropping testosterone. Restoring and maintaining this one specific hormone, it's the absolute master key to the whole shebang.
But we've got to face a pretty alarming reality here: 1%. From your late 30s onward, your testosterone levels naturally drop by about 1% every single year. You might be wondering, why does that happen? Well, the Leydig cells in the testes, the guys responsible for actually producing your testosterone, they literally begin to decrease and die off as we age. It's just a biological fact. So you're simply not going to feel as aggressive and energetic as you did in your 20s unless you actively intervene. So how do you even know if you're running on empty? You've got to look out for these warning signs. Are you losing your drive? Feeling this chronic, heavy fatigue? Finding it way harder to build muscle at the gym? Or maybe you're dealing with these unexplained depressive moods. Listen, these aren't just normal getting older symptoms. They are massive red flags for low T. And the solution isn't to just sit there and guess. Go to a clinic, get a simple blood test, and find out exactly what your levels are. If they're low, proper hormone replenishment could literally be the most effective anti-aging step you ever take.
That leads us right into part 3, fighting hidden visceral fat.
Let's get totally clear on what this actually means. When we talk about belly fat, there are 2 different types. Subcutaneous fat, that's the soft, pinchable stuff right under your skin. But visceral fat, oh, that is the hard fat packed deep inside your abdomen, wrapping tightly around your intestines and your major organs. It's exactly what causes that firm, protruding dad bod belly in older men. And medically speaking, it is a massive biological danger. Here's the scary part. Visceral fat doesn't just sit there doing nothing. It acts almost like a toxic organ inside you, actively releasing these inflammatory substances called cytokines.
Now, these cytokines cause widespread inflammation that actively destroys your testosterone. It creates this terrifying vicious cycle. Being overweight lowers your testosterone, and then that lower testosterone makes you even more prone to gaining more visceral fat. It's a total downward spiral.
85 centimeters. If your waistline hits this measurement, alarm bells should absolutely be ringing. This puts you right in the danger zone for metabolic syndrome, which is a condition where high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes pair up with that dangerous belly fat. Shockingly, half of all men over 40 are at risk for this. So, what's our playbook to fix it? First off, do not crash diet. That just spikes your stress, which, you guessed it, lowers your testosterone even more. Instead, aim for a safe, steady fat loss of maybe 1 to 2 kilograms a month. Combine a sensible diet with at least 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week, throw in some weight training, and safely strip away that dangerous internal fat.
All right, part 4, supplements and deep sleep.
Okay, here are the top evidence-backed supplements you should be looking at for daily maintenance. First up, daily tadalafil. Now, yes, it's pretty well known as an ED medication, but when taken daily in very small doses, there is strong medical evidence showing it improves blood flow and vascular health throughout your entire body. Next is zinc. This is quite literally the raw material your body needs to manufacture testosterone in the first place. And finally, vitamin D, which works hand in hand with zinc to support your overall male vitality.
But listen, all the supplements in the world won't do a thing if you ignore this magic number, 7 hours. That is the absolute baseline target for daily sleep. It's during your deep, dreamless, non-REM sleep that your body physically recovers and your testosterone levels naturally surge. If you are skimping on your sleep, you are actively accelerating your own aging process. It's that simple. Now, I know getting 7 hours can be tough, which means the quality of that sleep is absolutely paramount. So here is a rigorous, doctor-approved protocol for perfect sleep hygiene. First, stop drinking any liquids about 2 hours before hitting the sack. Second, cut out all evening caffeine. Just drop it. Third, take a nice warm bath to raise your core body temperature. As your body cools down afterward, it naturally triggers sleepiness. And finally, your room must be pitch black. Literally. Even a tiny green LED light from a phone charger or an AC unit can disrupt those deep sleep cycles and completely ruin your hormonal recovery. So block it all out.
And finally, part 5, the sauna and mindfulness protocol. You know, saunas aren't just some trendy spa thing. They are a legitimate medical tool. The intense heat naturally dilates your blood vessels, which improves blood flow literally everywhere. It also elevates your heart rate to this ideal zone of about 100 to 120 beats per minute. That's roughly the rate where you're slightly out of breath, but you can still hold a conversation. It's basically fantastic cardiovascular exercise without you having to move a single muscle. However, I've got to give you an essential medical warning right here. Frequent exposure to near 100 degrees Celsius heat is not great for the testes. So if you're a man actively trying to conceive right now, you should probably skip the heavy sauna sessions for the time being. But for those of you who are clear to go, the sauna unlocks this amazing biological perk called heat shock proteins. These are special proteins that your body generates in response to high heat. They do wonders. They boost your immunity, they aid in cellular repair, and they are absolutely incredible for muscle recovery. This makes hitting the sauna the perfect follow-up to a heavy weight training session. Just make sure you are aggressively rehydrating, because obviously you'll be sweating out a ton of fluids.
To get the absolute maximum benefit, though, you've got to follow a really specific cycle. Intense heat in the sauna, followed by a shock of cold water, and finally, a period of meditative rest. Doing this exact sequence does something pretty amazing to your body. It forcibly flips your autonomic nervous system from that high-stress sympathetic state right into a deep restorative parasympathetic state. It completely drains away your fatigue and triggers this profound level of physical relaxation.
And during that final rest period, you apply this, mindfulness. Now, this isn't just some spiritual fluff, guys. It is grounded in real medical evidence. For just 3 minutes, forget your work, forget your stress. Just focus entirely on one single sense. Maybe listen strictly to the sound of the water, or focus solely on your breathing. This kind of focused meditation actively clears out stress and has actually been shown to raise testosterone levels. You are quite literally thinking your way to better hormones. So we have covered the complete inside-out roadmap today. From protecting your skin and hair, to testing your testosterone, destroying that dangerous visceral fat, dialing in your sleep and supplements, all the way to mastering the sauna protocol. You now have the ultimate medical playbook to fight back against the daily wear and tear of aging. So, I want to leave you with one final question.
Which of these changes are you going to put into action today to stop the clock? The knowledge is yours now. It's time to use it.